right, guys, we've done a couple reviews on the channel of the Mustang GT350. So I did two Grabber Blue 2017 cars. One was from a subscriber when I first started the channel. One was a press car from Ford, and I love that car. I even said that this car was a must-buy. What you haven't seen yet is I recently drove a 2019 GT350, which tweaked the 17 a little more, even a better package. You'll see that in the coming weeks. But this is the ultimate car. This is the 350R. Now, this is a 2017 model that was bought used for under $65,000, and it might be the biggest performance bargain out there. So first, we'll go through the interior, and then we'll take it for a spin, and then at the end of the video I'll tell you what I like and what I dislike about the car. Remember, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Only 10% of subscribers have actually hit that notification bell. It's free and it'll notify you every time I post a video. Like and share this video so our channel can grow, and as always, leave a positive comment below. All right, so let's take a look at the interior. So the first thing you'll notice is the Shelby symbol here on the interior. And I love this flat bottom wheel. And now here you have all your controls here. So it looks like the shock settings, steering settings, volume for your radio, Bluetooth, stuff that aren't that important. Most important though is you have a gauge for everything here. So you have your all kinds of temperatures for your engine, transmission. You have really big gauges for the tachometer and the speedometer. Gas gauge, which most of the time is going to be empty. Did we start with a full tank?
We're close to it.
All right, we're down to half already. And then you have your infotainment. Now you notice what's different from a Mustang certainly is you have, this is where the heated seats would be and the cooled seats would go. You have your engine and start stop button. And of course it's only available with a 6-speed manual. Also, you'll notice that there's no heated wheel because, of course, this is the R model. And then you have your shaker sound system, speakers. You have your gauges here for oil pressure and oil temperature, and then this is really the only clue from the inside that you're driving the R, right? Is the on the dash, and then the seats, the back of the seats have the R symbol. We'll tell you different ways to GoPro stop recording. GoPro stop recording. There we go. We'll tell you different ways to identify the car. So if the Shelby GT350R, how do you tell the difference between an R and 350 if you see one on the road? Well, if you see it from the side or passing by you, you'll see the carbon fiber wheels. So that's a dead giveaway there. If you're seeing it from the rear spoiler is different from the R than it is from the 350. And coming from the front or parked in a parking lot, it has the red pinstripes, assuming it has front stripes, it has the red pinstripes around the front stripes, which are typically, white or black. So you would just see regular stripes on the GT350 models. The R always have the red pinstripes. So that's the easiest way to identify it. More technical ways is the front splitter sticks out a little bit more, is a little different. And then we already talked about the rear spoiler. So I've never driven an R before, so I'm really excited to do that. So let's go over the stats real quick before we do that. All right, so let's go over the stats before we take it for a drive. 5.2 liter normally aspirated V8 with a flat plain crank. That's why it sounds so good. 526 horsepower, 429 foot-pounds of torque. According to Motor Trend, a 0 to 60 time of about 4 seconds flat, a 12.2 second quarter mile. It weighs about 3,700 pounds. Braking on this car is phenomenal too. You have roughly 15.5-inch rotors in the front, I think 15s in the rear, 6 pistons in the front, 4 pistons in the rear, which have an incredible stopping time, 60 to 0, of only 99 feet. Now, base price for this car is about $64,500. Yes, only $64,500 when it was new in 2017. Gas guzzler tax is about $1,300 or so, and then about $3,000 or so for the electronics package, which gives you back the radio and the air conditioning. So you could actually, this car, if you got it base with no options, wouldn't have radio, wouldn't have air conditioning. Tire sizes in the front. So let's talk about the GT350 real quick. GT350 is 295s in front, 305s in back. This has 305s in front, 305 30 19s, and then the rear 315 30 19s. And they're the Michelin Cup 2 tires, so you'll want to get some heat in it before you drive it aggressively. So we've been, Danny's been driving this while I've been doing B-roll, so we're nice and warmed up here. The tires hopefully still have heat in them. And we'll take it out for a spin starting now. Watch this video all the way through, and then I'll give you the pluses and minuses as well as values for this car if you're thinking of picking one up. All right, let's take it for a spin. All right, let's take it for a spin. Clutch is nice and light. Now, with these Cup 2 tires, you will kick up a lot of rocks. You can hear the pebbles going right now, just being parked in this parking lot. So you might want to get a clear bra for your car if you plan on buying one. Now, the R's all have the track pack standard for 2017. And so they all have, the track pack cars have the magnetic ride. So you can make this car softer around town and obviously harder on your favorite roads or on the racetrack. All right, so we just left a pretty bumpy parking lot, so we'll go on some better roads here. Yeah, clutch is very easy. Wow. Now this is probably the best sounding stock exhaust of any car I've driven. Oh, well, I forgot about this. So with the heads-up display, you get the shift lights right in front of, it's basically just showing your shift lights, right? Not speed or anything, but electric steering, but every car has electric steering pretty much nowadays. Wow. So we're not breaking any speed limits and it still sounds pretty amazing in here. Now this Mustang, unless like some other Mustangs, actually handles. I've owned 2 Mustangs, a 92 Fox body, kind of like Matt Farah's car, and a 94 SN95, and they did not handle, but they were cool cars nonetheless. Wow, is the speed limit here 12? 40. That's what this. Shift was 3,000 and we still got great sound there. So why do you buy this car over a GT350? Well, first of all, as far as base price and sticker price goes, it's not that much more than a GT350, right? About $7,000 more. But dealers are marking these up $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and obviously the R is much more limited production than the GT350. But a lot of people are paying $65,000 for their GT350s, even $70,000 for them. And this car, fully loaded, had a MSRP of $68,000. So gas mileage, the way we're driving today, about 7. Which is kind of what you'll get in the city. We're getting now going 12 miles an hour behind this car. On the highway, the owner here drove this car back to New Jersey, bought it in Florida, drove it home, and he said he averaged 22 on the highway. Now there's a quiet mode and a loud mode for the exhaust. You'll hear in the exhaust clips, I'm only going to give you the loud mode. The loud mode, so there's a button here that you could press. You could go into 6th gear and it'll put it in low mode. Now GTR, I think, probably wants to race us. But I totally forgot what I was talking about. What were we talking about? Acceleration. Oh, acceleration. Oh, so why would you buy this over GT350? Well, it's way more limited. so it's going to hold its value better. I'll talk about whether I think it's going to go up or down in value at the end of the video. There's thousands of GT350s. There's a lot less of these cars. It has all the tweaks you want. It's the same horsepower, so it's the GT350 regular model. I don't want to call it a base, but the regular GT350 doesn't have more horsepower. And this has suspension tweaks. You got the carbon fiber wheels. I believe it saves 13 pounds each corner, which is pretty significant for unsprung weight. You got the stickier tires. You got the spoilers, which definitely help. They're functional, right? So you have some aero in the front and the back. And it's really an exclusive car. And it doesn't have the resonators either, so you have that really raw sound to it, which to me makes all the difference in the world. So again, these cars, between the base and the R model, in the real world, if you were buying both at MSRP, is only a $7,000 difference. The problem is just the markups, because the R was so limited, you're seeing $20,000, $30,000 difference. Is it worth $20,000 or $30,000 difference? I don't know. But it's certainly worth $7,000, $10,000, $15,000 difference.
When you put it in 6, it went quiet.
Yeah, so when I put it in 6th gear there, it did go in quiet mode. So even if you have the loud exhaust on. Now there's different modes here with the suspension, right, where we can do, there's even a G meter in here too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's turn the G meter on. Is that easy to do?
You got to toggle through
all right. Well,
that,
okay. Yeah. So what do we love most about this car? Well, the most surprising thing about this car is it actually handles. The owner here came from an E92 M3. Of course, my favorite is the engine and the red line, which is 8250 RPM. You're really buying this car for the engine. But what you might not know about this car, since it's a Mustang, is how well it actually handles and stops. I can't believe how good it brakes too. We'll do a second gear pulse. It's not my car. I don't want to go too fast. I know. That's fast enough. So it feels even faster than 4 seconds flat, 0 to 60. Again, the tires are so sticky, certainly helping with the 0 to 60 time. It feels faster to me than the regular GT350. And it feels much lighter on its feet, and the owner was saying that as well. And I think it's because of the unsprung weight with the carbon fiber wheels. Now these wheels, if you have to replace them, are over $4,000 for the front and up to about $4,900 in the back. So keep that in mind if you live in an area with a lot of potholes. Steering feels pretty good for electric steering. I mean, it's not hydraulic steering, but you can certainly place the car where you want. It does not, like any electric steering car, it does not have the feel of hydraulic steering. Yeah, so we're not driving in track mode. It's going to be a little too stiff for these terrible New Jersey roads, but the 17 models come with the track pack standard, and they come with a magnetic ride standard, so you can make it. It's still sports car stiff. I'm not going to kid. If you're used to a regular car to get into this car, you will see it stiff. You will see the camera shaking here. Part of that is the bumpy roads. Part of that is the stiff chassis. These seats are comfortable for me. I'm 6 feet, 180 pounds. If you're wider than me, it may be uncomfortable. There is a backseat delete, so that helps save some weight too, which you won't see in the 350, which has the backseat. What do I like and what I don't like about the car? Well, obviously, let's do the likes first. I love how it looks. One of my favorite cars ever, I thought, was like the 68, 67 GT500 Mustang. And even though this is GT350, I think they knocked it out of the park with the looks on this car. I love the colors it comes in. This is Avalanche Gray, which I think is one of the best colors. I also like Grabber Blue. As you see, my GT350 reviews are in Grabber Blue. Obviously, you're buying this for the engine. Naturally aspirated V8, flat plane crank, 8250 red line. Again, the most surprising thing, which you'll love, especially if you like coming from good handling cars like I do, is the handling. One of the best things about this car is they only come with a manual transmission, 6-speed manual. So if you're looking for these cars on the used market, every one you look at, it has a manual transmission. You don't have to worry about looking at pictures like Ferraris, is it F1, if it's a stick, or a BMW, is it a DCT or SMG or a stick. They're all stick shifts. My favorite is they don't come with any sunroof, so you have a lighter, stiffer car with a lower center of gravity. Now, with the GT over the, the GT350R over the GT350 model, is this spoiler on the R, the front spoiler sticks out more, so it is much harder to get into your driveway, get into a gas station, get into a parking lot, so you have to keep that in mind. It sticks out more and is lower to the ground. Sounds amazing on downshifts. It'll make you want it. We keep going through the same stretch of road because it's such a good road for this car where you have to upshift and downshift, and that's what makes stick shifts more fun. Now, if you're a Ford versus Chevy guy, what I'm going to say next will make no sense to you. But this would be a good car as far as values go. This would be a good car to buy now because you can get them for under 70 grand now if you really shop around. Some dealers, are still asking full price for this. Some Ford dealers are still asking crazy money. But if you shop around like my friend did here, you could, get them for 65, 70,000. This would go for under 65,000 again with only 5,000 miles. And I think they're going to hold their value. So maybe for the short time, since the Supra's out and the C8 Corvette's out, they may dip a little more. But I think these are going to hold their value long term. And when these get about 10 years old, I think they're even going to go up in value. The new GT500 is automatic only. The new version of this car could be automatic only as well. And then I think people will be rushing to the manual transmissions, and especially the R model since they're limited. So now is really the time to buy it. I would say in the next 12 months, 12 to 18 months is when you want to buy an R model. And even if you're thinking of getting a, I thought that was a cop. Even if you're thinking of getting a C8 Corvette, it's going to start at 60,000. You're going to want a Z51 car. By the time you option up at 70,000, you want the front lift, it should be 75. They're going to sell hundreds of thousands of those cars. They're going to sell 40,000 a year at least, and that the C8 is probably going to be around for a while. So this would be a good car to get in to now. Say you buy it for 65, you could probably sell it for 65 a couple years from now, and then that Z06 that you wanted that was 100,000. The C8 Z06 probably depreciates down to 70, 65, and you can probably get real close to that by putting your money into this car. So you may want to wait a couple years on the C8 Corvette and drive this for a while. And if you keep this long enough and you decide you want to keep it, I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a $70,000, $75,000, $80,000 car. And who knows, maybe 20, 30 years from now, it's a $100,000 car. So what don't I like about the car? Well, a couple things that I would say I don't like about the car is it's going to be hard to get one. You're going to have to bring a lot of money to get one. It's not like you can go down the road to the next Ford dealer and get an R. They probably don't have one in stock. Buyers paid a lot of money for this, so even if you get it used, it's the same kind of problem with the 1M, is that person paid $20,000 or $30,000 over sticker to get this car. They're probably not going to sell it to you for $65,000. Obviously, it's an extreme car if you're not used to this type of car. We're enthusiasts, most of us, and this works perfect for us. This may be our perfect car ever, but to a lot of people, maybe the approach angle, bottoming out everywhere, maybe the bumpy ride, maybe the loud noise is not something for you, so try before you buy, or fitting in the seats here. But there's really no downsides to this car. I would say for the money, for 65 grand, this is probably one of the best cars you can get, new or used. Now I noticed we had the sport mode on, right? I noticed that the throttle is a lot more
lively.
Yeah, way more responsive.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is way more light on its feet than the regular 350 is. I mean, for that alone, it's worth the extra money.
Yep.
And the steering, I see, tightens up too, right? With the sport mode, I noticed.
Yep.
And this review took me like twice as long to shoot because I wanted to get a lot of extra footage, and I wanted to drive this car a lot too, so. This doesn't rev match for you, so that's really good. I just noticed that. You have to, I've been rev matching myself, and I just went there and it doesn't do it for you, which is fantastic. Take that, BMW M2. Now, what do you say, since you had a E92 M3,
Yep.
you know, what attracted you to this car, and how would you compare it to the E92 M3? Because they're starting to go up in value.
Yeah, it's definitely a similar car, you know, in that it's naturally aspirated V8, high revving. I think what attracted me to this car is it's everything great about the E92 just turned up to 11.
Right, and you don't have any of the problems the E92 has, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this is more money to get, 65 compared to say 35 or 25. But you still have a warranty.
Absolutely.
You still, I mean, these cars are pretty reliable, right?
Mm-hmm. So
they're easy to maintain. You have all the modern conveniences. If you need that, like you want to drive it every day, you have Bluetooth, you have a backup camera.
they do consume oil.
Of these cars?
Yeah.
Well, so does it said in my E90 M3.
Yeah. You know, any high revving car you can expect is to burn some oil. So that's definitely something to stay on top of. Typically, you know, you can expect about a quart every 1,000 miles.
Oh, quart every 1,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So my E92 M3, when it was new, I'm sorry, E90 M3, when it was new, was about a quart every 1,000 miles, and then that went to maybe like 5 or 10 as it went on. Okay, so you are doing a quart with 1,000. So you always have extra oil in the back, probably, right?
Yep, and you check it every, you know. If you're going out for a long drive, you check it.
Now it's tough where the dipstick is, right? It actually has a dipstick where you can burn your hand, your wrist or something. You were telling me, trying to get your hand down there if the engine's hot.
And you got to check it while it's hot. So.
Oh, you do have to check it? That's how, because it's a dry sump, right?
Yep.
That's how my 993 Turbo was. You had to drive for 20 minutes and check it with the engine running. Now, warranty, so this car's still under the bumper-to-bumper warranty. So it's 3 years, 36,000 miles. And then the powertrain is 5 years, 60,000 miles. So you're covered there. All right, guys, thanks for watching this review. This is probably one of the best cars I've ever driven on the channel. You know, run, not walk to wherever you have to go. Ford dealer, private sale, eBay, and buy one of these cars. I think your money is safe here. I think they're going to hold their value. They could dip, you know, 3,000 or 5,000 in the next year or so. Then these cars, you know, when all the hoopla is done with the Supra and the C8 Corvette, I think people will realize what a performance bargain is, especially when that GT500 comes out for 90 grand and it's an automatic only. I think there's going to be people that are going to want the best version of this car, the GT350, and that would be the R. It's limited numbers. You can get them now 65, 70 grand. This was bought for about 63 grand, only 5,400 miles on it. I think these can easily be 70, 75, $80,000 cars all day long in a couple years. Great place to put your money. Try it for a couple years and then sell it for something else. But I think this is one of the few cars you can buy today that'll definitely go up in value. Thanks again for watching, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. And leave a comment below on your thoughts on the GT350R. Would you get this? Would you get the GT350? Would you get something else? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. 129 foot-pounds of torque, according to Motor Trend, a 0 to 60 time of about 6 seconds and a 12.2 quarter mile. It weighs about 3,700 pounds. And did I say 0 to 60 time in 4 seconds?
I think you said 6.
Oh, 6 seconds? Oh, wow. All right, so we'll start again. All right, take 2.